Hello and welcome everyone, it is me the lover, also known as the Power To-Do List, back for you with another video. And I think you might have already heard the news, which is why we are on the imports and world premieres from Power of the Elements. Besides some decent Reptile extenders, a decent link to for any sort of cyber stack almost, or for any sort of deck that's generic. And a neat trap monster and an import for a Lady of Lament. The centerpiece of why we are here is what you are seeing down here. The Morphtronic cards are getting imported to the TCG in Power of the Elements. We knew the Earth Duelist pack was going to be split up, but initially me and someone from my Discord theorized they would be in the Battles of Legends set, which makes the rarities a bit of a disappointment. Like, don't get me wrong, most of the decks already low rarity, so I don't mind Telephone, Gamer, Scannon, Earphone, Converter, and Live Extreme being commons. I do not mind that at all. I think the one thing that really bothers me is that Braver Dragon is a super. I really would have liked to at least see Braver Dragon as an ultra, in all honesty. But in general, I don't know. POTE just keeps getting better apparently. You know, there's two really decent archetypes, really insane archetypes in there for competitive play. And now there is also the Morphtronics getting ported, which is nice. I'm definitely looking forward to it, especially since these will be very easy to pick up. As previously mentioned, all of these are common, and Braver is a super. But I really would have liked Braver to be at least an ultra. At least Braver, if we don't get super rare earphones, you know. But another thing, if I already, have you guys here, I already want to talk. I also wanted to talk about the TCG exclusive archetype in that set. This year is also something interesting. I think what initially really sold me on this deck was that Ghoti of the Deep Beyond as a possible secret rare was just like, oh wow, yeah, that's good looking cardboard. But even just as a synchro boss on its own, Ghoti of the Great Beyond of the Deep Beyond is an incredible card. It gains 500 for each banished monster. It's question mark attack, so it's basically Granmaju. And if this is synchro summoned during your opponent's turn, you can banish all cards on the field, and during the standby phase of the next turn after this card was banished from your monster zone, you special summon this from your banished pile back. Very powerful effect, of course. Incredible piece of removal. Something that definitely can mess your opponent up, especially since the deck has some in-archetype Excel synchro tuners that allow you to make this on your opponent's turn. And also you get some neat, I guess, new water support. In Moray of Avarice, this banishes a face-up fish, sea serpent, or aqua to draw 2. It is limited to once per turn, but still a very decent draw card for any sort of water-based decks. Moving into the main deck cards for this deck, Paisley's Delight of Ghoti is a special, you can banish it to special a fish from hand, and during the next standby phase of the turn it was banished. You can special it back, and if you did that, you can, in your opponent's main phase, use this thing to quick synchro into one of your big fishes. And then we have Shift, Fairy of the Ghoti. You can banish this card from grave and target a fish you control against 500 until the end of the turn. Comes back in the standby phase of the next turn after it was banished. And if summoned after being banished, you can quick synchro. It's really that straightforward, yeah. Then we have Enoch, Sentry of the Ghoti. If it's normal or special, you can target one of your banished level 4 or lower fishes, special summon it in defense, but negate its effects. And you can banish a fish from hand or field to add a Ghoti trap from your deck to your hand. The trap you can search with this isn't too hot right now, but this deck gets another wave and Darkwing Blast, so I think with another decent trap target, you can definitely make this guy put in some work, but otherwise he's just a need for the body, as I think he and one of the other tuners enable the next card. Askan, the Bicorn Ghoti. takes a tuner and a non-tuner, and if it's synchro summoned, you can target a fish you control and a card your opponent controls, banish both, and if this thing is banished, you can banish a fish monster from your graveyard to special summon this card. So you have this like neat kind of loop, similar to Flunder, but based. Where you know, banish fishes and they all come back in the next standby phase, and then you quick synchro on your opponent's turn. You get your disruptions because Ascan is on synchro summon a banish, and Ghoti of the Deep Beyond just says fuck your couch and banishes the whole board. You also have a field spell. This would have looked amazing in foil, but it's a common, unlucky. While you control a fish synchro monster, this cannot be destroyed or banished by card effects. This is important because otherwise Ghoti of the Deep Beyond would banish this. And you can only use the following effects once each. You can banish a fish from hand or graveyard, add a Ghoti from deck to hand. Incredible field spell that searches, already absolutely crazy. Field spells are readily accessible, and if your field spell searches, that is already like crazy, insanely crazy. And if a fish is normal or specialed to your field while this is in your grave, you can target a fish you control, banish it, and if you do, add this back. So you might even get away with like 2 copies, but since this is a searcher, you probably max out on this anyways. And then we have the trap that I previously mentioned. We have Ghoti Chain, a normal trap. You banish a face-up fish you control, you special summon a Ghoti that is banished or in your hand, deck, or graveyard with a different original name from the monster that you banish to activate this effect, but you banish it when it leaves the field. It's like neat. I think early on I could definitely see maybe running one of this to like at least have a target for the effect of Enoch. But I think you definitely can see that this is just the first wave, and I think there's definitely some potential here. And overall, this looks like really cool because in general, fish is a type of card that like isn't that deeply explained or deeply explored. And the art on these just looks amazing with like these fishes that float through space and look like almost like constellations of stars. It's insane. And like, yeah, as previously mentioned, I can only imagine the foils looking absolutely amazing. But with that out of the way, I hope I took up enough of your time today, and I will thank you guys very much for watching. Let me, know down below what you think of the Morphtronic reveals, if you're upset about the rarities like me, or if you're just happy that you can get the cards in a very neat package at a reasonable price. And I don't know, if any of you are into Ghoti, let me know down below, because I definitely think this is a very interesting deck, and I'm very looking forward to see what like not only this does, but also what the future support for this brings. But as previously mentioned, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time. But until then, goodbye.